Hello, listeners.
Hello, we have returned. And oh boy.
Yeah, it won't have felt like any time for you guys. For us, it's been about like a month since we've recorded. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, if we're a little bit
And
rusty, this is why.
yes, and we can explain.
Yeah, it's been May was really busy for both of us between
Yeah.
Elle's birthday and just like 1,000 fucking deadlines on my end. Like it was just really hard to
Mm-hmm.
find time to record. But we're back.
Yes.
We're here to discuss this issue, which holy shit,
Yeah, issue 5.
Issue 5, it really fucking broke us. Like, we did not get this done for 2 whole weeks.
Yeah, this is like the other half of the explanation of why it took us so long.
Yeah. The other half of the explanation of that is issue 5 makes no goddamn sense. Like, it took us 2 weeks to discuss and fully figure out how the hell we were supposed to fix this. Because it's so nonsensical.
Yeah, there's parts that are okay, sure, easy to fix and stuff, kind of explainable in one session, but then there's this whole segment where it's just like, what is going on? Why is it like this stuff?
Yeah, Blue skidooed into the painting, and now we've lost all our minds trying to figure out how to make this normal and, like, a good story.
Yeah, or, like, make sense.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, this was the hardest thing I've ever had to do to make something make sense before. This was just really difficult.
I was expecting us to have trouble in, like, major plot points and stuff, but this is just, like, a side story.
Yeah, this, like, side story of Irma goes to the museum was just the world's hardest thing ever.
Yeah.
I've had university
well-
coursework less difficult than this.
Boy, do we have some fixes for you.
Oh, yeah. Everybody strap in, because the summary of this one's a fucking doozy, okay?
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna go in too many details, but sort of an overview of basically what happened, because that's a lot of bullet points we're gonna be going through.
Yeah.
So it starts out with Irma and Martin. Supposedly before, like, Irma's astral drop said okay to going on a date with Martin to the museum, and Irma's just like, oh god, why is this happening? Because she's not into Martin at all.
She's like, I'm gay,
so-
I can't do this.
And so she goes with Martin because, I think she felt bad anyway of, standing him up or anything. She doesn't want to do that. And he was already in her house. But anyway, so
Already in
they
her
go on the
house.
date to museum. Yeah.
Sorry.
He was already waiting for her.
She's lying
But
in wait.
he was wearing his Boy Scout uniform. I can't. But anyway, so they go on the date, and basically she friend zones him, and he's like, well, you could be friends, good, okay friends. It's just gonna be like a hangout at the museum, and Martin's pretty cool about it, I think.
Yeah,
and then
Martin was like,
at some
thank
point,
God.
yeah. At some point, they see a lizard meta creature. It's a big lizard, and then he was crawling on the walls, and he was just like, a guardian hiss and stuff. And then people are like, wow, that's a giant lizard. And Irma's like, it's probably a creature from the Metamore. So she basically tells the girls at school that maybe one of the portals is in the museum, and they consult their handy dandy map of portals, and they're like, you're right, it's in the museum. And Principal Knickerbocker is like, what are you doing there, girls? And then they do a whole like cover up where Halen kind of turns the map into some random drawing of Principal Knickerbocker. But anyway,
this bit is not important.
They decide to go to the museum at night.
Also of note, this gang of boys who are like perennial troublemakers also hear this, and they're like, ooh, let's check that out.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Essentially, Witch infiltrates the museum. Will uses her magic talking to appliances powers to basically convince the CCTV cameras to let them in. Since they kind of disabled the security, Yuria and company managed to get in as well. But before they, cross paths, Witch encounters Elian, who's being creepy again, and they find out from her that Phobos is her brother, and he was betrayed by those tasked to take care of Elian after the quote-unquote disappearance of their parents. So Elian believes this 100% and opened a portal into this painting thing to trap them inside. Mostly because she was told that the Guardians were Meridian's enemy, and since they were Guardians of the Veil was keeping her from returning to her homeland and fulfilling her destiny, quote unquote, or something like that. But yeah,
This is
once they're inside the painting.
Real quick, this is the home of like a speech that just lives rent free in mine and my sister's brains. Like since we read this when we were kids, like the phrase "because of the barrier you protect," it lives in our brain rent free because of the speech she does, where she's like, "I can't get back home because of this barrier."
Oh yeah. She goes on that whole tirade.
She goes off on a
And
real fucking
Cedric's
tangent.
at the back like, yes, Elian.
Continue to make them guilty. So weird.
And they go inside this painting, which is called Eternal Summer or something like that. And they meet the painter inside. And apparently, the painter used to be like a court painter for Phobos.
Yeah.
But then Phobos didn't like having portraits of himself in the. It's kind of weird. It's like me trying to justify or say whatever dumb Phobos was thinking, and so weird.
Dumb Phobos in the story was just like, I don't like being painted or some shit.
Yeah.
So
he cursed
threw
the
him in
painter
jail.
inside.
Yeah, he escaped to Earth in like the Renaissance times because I guess that's what was going on concurrently on Earth. Yeah, so he was just like escaped to the Yeah, he just escaped to Earth in the Renaissance and was just like painting away, having a great time having like the Medicis be his patrons and shit until he got tracked down by metamorph creatures and then was like cursed to be.
I think he was tracked down by Cedric also.
Yeah, Cedric is a metamorph creature though. Like that's that
true.
Big old snake guy.
And so they were the ones who trapped him inside his latest painting, which was this one, Eternal Summer.
Latest painting, 1600s, but still.
Latest finished painting.
Yeah.
And he was trapped there for the rest of his life. The girls couldn't use their magic inside the place, but they find out from the painter that this painting was supposed to be called The Last Tier. Apparently, The Last Tier is supposed to be inside this church area that you can't even see from the outside of the painting. But anyway, they were like, why don't you try finishing this painting of your loved one with paint made from the last tier? And he's like, I didn't think of that before. And essentially he mixed the thingy into paint and then finished this painting of like his loved one from the medieval times, and that kind of gave the girls their powers back, and they escaped the painting and closed the portal.
Yeah, that's basically what happened. Also, real quick, we never mentioned this guy's name is so fucking stupid.
Oh, right.
We were reading through like the issue and we were like, there's no way this is his name. No! His name is Van-Dahl. It's so dumb.
like Van and then it's like Dahl spelled like Roald Dahl.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going for like Flemish greats kind of name because it sounds Dutch. Van-Dahl sounds like a Dutch name. It sounds legitimately like, like a painter from that era, but also like his name is Van-Dahl, guys. I'm sorry. We were both just so like, no, this can't be what his name is.
Yeah, I don't think we even decided on a name. We just decided like he's not gonna be Van-Dahl.
Yeah, we didn't have a name for him. So
yeah, well, I guess so. In other words, this whole painting business made no sense. It was very dumb and weirdly put together, but so I guess we go around to actually fixing everything now.
And we had a lot of fucking fixes. This issue apparently was so weird that even our research division was like, excuse me, you expect me to summarize this how? This makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
Honestly, eternal respect to Rosie for even trying. Like, this made absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good job, Rosie.
Yeah. Shout out to Rosie, who may or may not be listening, for, being the fucking greatest of all time, for even managing to make some of it make sense on paper. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, well, so we're keeping the slice of life stuff with like Irma and Martin date, because I think that's also like a foundation for astral drops actually being their own people eventually, kind of thing. And then the lizard, instead of conspicuously crawling around the museum like an idiot, maybe he's gonna be a little bit smarter and pretends to be part of the exhibit. And since Irma's in the vicinity, kind of moves very slightly, and then Irma notices this, and that's what she tells, the girls. It's like,
yeah.
there's something suspicious. Maybe it's like a creature from Metamore type of thing.
Yeah.
Instead of like causing this whole hoo-ha.
Can you imagine just being so dumb as like a lizard from another? Like, you're already in hiding, that's why you're crawling around. But like, why are you doing that in public, my dude?
Yeah.
Be smart about
Get
this.
a room.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's the lizard, and Yuria and the gang overhear this, and they want to check it out, but since they're afraid of looking cultured, they will decide to do it after hours as well.
we wanted to give them a little bit more personality than just have them being bullies. So I like that we decided on them, like, they'd follow the girls, but they were interested in, figuring this out, but because their whole reputation is, like, kind of centered around, being big assholes who don't really consume or understand world cultures, they're like, I don't want to go to the museum. I don't want to be seen going to the museum. That's gonna get rid of our street cred. So like they just go late at night.
Squares.
They don't want to be seen as like cultured in any way.
Yeah, like we have a reputation to uphold.
Yeah, exactly.
And since we also like said that Will doesn't actually use her powers to talk to electronics, we made her having power over energy type of person.
Energy and gravity.
She uses that.
Yeah, we said that this instead was like she just loops the footage on the CCTV because her magic is capable of handling like electricity and stuff.
Yeah. It could be like some kind of infiltration trick thingy, and that's also what helps Yuria and gang get in eventually.
Yeah.
After them. And then they encounter Lizard Guy, who we've decided is gonna be like one of the henchmen or something like that, who specializes in trapping people in places, like how I think we mentioned before, like in the prison, some thieves or something like that would be sentenced to being trapped into whatever they were trying to steal or something like that forever, and they're like put on display in the prison. So he's the guy who does that. We made him, instead of Elian, be the one to put them in the painting, and he tries to
take the painting back to Meridian.
Yeah. But then Yuria and gang bump into him, and it's like confusion.
Yeah. The girls being stuck inside the painting realize pretty quickly that they can't use magic, and they're basically helpless until they're saved by Nameless Painter, who we did not rename.
Yeah.
I have it in my notes that we just wrote down, please, can we change his name to something less egregious? It annoys me so much.
Well, clarification on how he saves them. He has a good reputation, I guess, in the place. The girls were kind of suspicious looking and were accused to be witches, and so they were gonna get apprehended, but then Mr. Painter Dude was like, no, they're fine.
They're cool, really.
Yeah, they're not bad people. And so while that's happening, by the way, I guess we should mention what happens since Elian kind of dropped her lore in this part. Basically, since we removed her, we're not having that talk here.
Yeah, at the moment, Cedric and Elian are in the bookshop, and Cedric is like telling her all the stuff about herself. Because in our version of this hasn't happened yet. He's slowly been building to it. So like, this is that moment where he's like, actually, you're magic, though. You're a princess of a far-off land.
Yeah, this is like part 2, because at first, right, like Elian didn't believe him, but then after meeting Mrs. Rudolph, and then Mrs. Rudolph kind of explained that she was a refugee and stuff, and she helped Elian's parents, basically not her real parents, not like the king queen parents, but
her foster parents,
the ones who are taking care of her here in Earth.
Her foster parents, who look suspiciously like Will and Matt, by the way. Artists, like what was that about?
It's like an AU.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then she's like, maybe it's actually real, and then she goes back to Cedric, and basically that's what's happening now. It's like confirmation of the facts and stuff for Elian. So she's not here, but that's what's going on in the background.
Yeah. Oh, we should probably also... We did a lot of world building... Well, not a lot, but a couple of world building fixes last time. I don't know when we should be discussing that, but like we probably should bring it up at some point.
First, the painting... Since we mentioned that Painter Dude was trapped in the painting...
Yeah, I guess we should start with that.
And the whole win condition of the painting is so weird because it's like, he's so dumb. Why didn't he think of it in the first place? But anyway, so we've decided that the whole getting trapped in some mini dimension has some sort of win condition. So if you fulfill that condition, it would allow the person inside to exit if they want to leave. So we'll talk about that a bit later. But yeah, we have to explain also because Mr. Painter Dude somehow really chose to be in the Renaissance era, and it wasn't really explained how he had the power to do so. And,
so we had to create like an alternate time scale for how Meridian works, because apparently 2 weeks in Meridian is about like a day on Earth.
Yeah,
so
like based on previous
based on previous lore, like it's about a day on Earth is 2 weeks in Meridian. So I think what we said was that the planet is just closer to the star that it orbits, like Meridian as a place, like wherever the hell what planet that's on is like just closer, so like it orbits around the sun faster.
Yeah, so like the years, if you count it normally, like if it was like one revolution, it would be way more years compared to how many it would be equivalent in Earth time.
Yeah.
So it's just basically counting the years different because of that. So it basically, this is how we fix all of the time stuff because time is measured differently than on Earth, which makes sense based on what Mrs. Rudolph said in the previous issue, I believe. And anyway, Phobos is thousands of years old in Meridian years. Well, I mean, Earth years converted to Meridian years.
Yeah. Phobos, like, if you tried to figure out his age on Earth, would be zillions of years old. But, like, in terms of the Meridian timescale, he's only, like, 30.
Yeah, something like that.
Believe us, there was, like, lots of dumb math involved. Like, we spent a good 10 minutes on this last week, like, trying to figure out the math of this. So, like...
Yeah, like, how many years it was since, like, I don't know, Renaissance period, how much would that be?
Yeah.
Converted into Meridian years, that kind of thing, if it was, like, 2 weeks for every one Earth day. But anyway, we figured it out, so no math today.
Yeah, it's really a real boon having somebody decent at math be helping me with this, because I don't think I'd have been able to figure that out on my own. We don't talk about this much.
Either that or like another Veil power trip.
Yeah, we don't talk about this much. I'm one of the gays that can't do math, so like, me trying to figure this out on my own would have been a disaster. Thank God Alexa was here for this. Anyway.
I am happy to be of service. But yeah, so that's the time scale, and that's how we explain how Mr. Painter Dude manages to end up in the Renaissance era here. Yeah. And I guess it's worth mentioning that, well, it doesn't really say where on Earth Heatherfield is, but we're kind of thinking, since it's not really said, maybe they're somewhere in Europe. It's not really...
Yeah, probably like the Netherlands or like the UK or something like that, just because based on the weather patterns I've seen in both countries, that's what it looks like. It's a lot of rain. It's very gray.
Yeah, and like, it would make sense, modern era Heatherfield, it doesn't seem like Mr. Painter Dude is a famous painter, so his paintings wouldn't really be passed around globally or far away, so it would make sense for his stuff to be somewhere nearby.
Plus,
like,
just from
or
like...
passed down from the quote-unquote Medici family.
Just makes sense of like, from like a historical standpoint as well, because late Renaissance, early Reformation era was like when all of the Flemish masters were showing up and stuff, so like if he ended up in like the Netherlands, he was probably spearheading the movement of like people learning to use oil paints properly.
Yeah, and there was a lot of painters back then.
Yeah, it's like he was like a Van Eyck or something.
Yeah, it would explain why his stuff would just be in a museum in Heatherfield.
Yeah, they just kept it there. NBD.
Yeah, or like it was passed down and then someone donated it to the museum for money type of thing. So there's that time stuff. Yeah. And I guess this is where we start explaining how Painter Dude's
bubble works.
Painting prison works.
Yeah. It basically, it's another one of those things like the bubbles where like they feed on his negative energy and emotions. So we decided to make it like, because he seemed to be having trouble finishing this painting before he got skidooed into a painting himself. Like now he's just having full ass, how am I supposed to paint? I'm going through like really bad art block. But also now that I know the kinds of things that that my paintings are capable of doing now that I can see the kind of harm they might be able to wreak on the world should I ever paint again. So, like, these are the feelings he's having, and the painting itself is just working as a negative echo chamber that bounces all of his self-doubt back onto himself, which, like, because we made his win condition being able to finish that painting of some lady that he has in his attic that he hasn't finished painting for 400 years.
Yeah, I think it was his lover.
Yeah, it
or
looked
something
like it.
like that.
Yeah.
And it's like at this point he felt that why should he continue to paint if painting is what got him into this mess in the first place?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why finishing the painting would be his win condition to essentially leave the bubble/painting, which would explain why it wouldn't really occur to him to do so because he's in that headspace. So the magical tear, or like the last tear that the painting was talking about, we try to like explain it as a metaphor for reaching out and getting help for when you're having these kinds of issues. But this will not come with, long intervention like with Tarani and stuff.
Yeah. This isn't gonna be a whole ass self-help like comic, so we're not gonna do that again.
Yeah, so he would be open to finishing it because other people, the girls, got trapped into the painting as well, and basically he didn't want people to get involved in his problems, and so he wanted to help them at least get out. So that's what kind of prompts him to actually try to finish the painting with the tear.
Yeah.
So he finishes the painting, and in doing so basically lets the girls go out and frees them from the painting, but he chooses to stay.
He chooses to stay because it's been 350 years, and he knows that there's no place for him out there. Like, there's no way those girls didn't come in there with, like, modern slang. Well, modern for 2004 slang. And he was like, what the hell is anybody saying right now? Like, this doesn't make any fucking sense to me. I'm staying in this eternal Ren Fair right now, okay?
Yeah, and it's like, he's not exactly in the state of mind to really kind of plunge into a whole new world.
Yeah, he's still a little bit vulnerable.
Yeah, I think at this point he just stay with what's familiar to him, and I guess try to be content with having at least helped the girls get out in his stead. So yeah, while that's happening, the Lizard and Yuria action, he tries to get into the portal with the painting, but then Yuria and company kind of accidentally alert the cops, I guess,
like knock something
in the whole
over or something.
Yeah, and probably triggers an alarm.
Yeah.
So the cops show up, and then he has to put the painting down or drop it and then hide again and pretend to be part of the exhibit because the whole operation would be ruined if he gets caught by the cops. And so the cops find Yuria and company, arrest them for juvenile delinquency and stuff.
The girls leave the painting after they get apprehended, and then they just like fight the lizard. Small scale fight at the museum, and then the lizard goes home in the portal, and then they close the portal, and that's the end. Listen, this sounded a lot easier because we spent 2 weeks trying to figure this out. If we had decided to just record them as they went, oh my god, this would have taken so much longer. Like,
if you put it together, like maybe 2 hours or more of footage of just incoherent screaming.
Honestly, it was a lot of incoherent screaming. We're not trying to make this sound more dramatic than it was. Like, at the time, my head was on the desk, like, at least 50% of it, because we were trying to figure out so much dumb shit.
It's like deciphering the dumb stuff and then trying to fix the dumb stuff and trying to make it make sense with the world that we have right now. And with the world that the authors established, like, excuse me, why would you introduce such wild cards into your plot if it doesn't really mesh together with what you even said before regarding time and the veil and everything? But
it just kind of made us both want to like die a little bit for 2 whole weeks.
I cannot express how joyous this occasion is that we actually finished fixing issue 5.
Honestly, this deserves like a party in and of itself. Like,
It's a huge weight off our shoulders, and I feel pretty good about how we managed to fix it.
Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of this makes way more sense than anything the comic did, so...
Yeah, for the first brainstorming session, it took us like an hour to just more or less figure out 80% of what was going on outside of the painting, and not really talking about the painting because we were like, oh, the painting is evil, we will not touch it for now. And then
the next week was
session
an
was
hour
just
of us like, what the hell is this painting shit? Why is this guy not helping himself? What the fuck is this?
And if you guys are interested in this whole tomfoolery nonsense that goes on in the comic, you should check it out. And also shout out to all of the weird facial expressions that
Oh my god.
Cedric and Elian were doing the whole time.
The people who illustrate this comic were having a real fucking field day with like the evil faces that these people were making. Because wow, they look so insane.
Yeah.
They look like they've been
Actually, they're very
glue.
memeable.
Yeah.
I challenge listeners out there to make memes out of them.
Yeah, please make memes. Tag the Twitter in your memes so we can find them. Because, like, honestly, that'd be great. We'd love for that to have been our cultural legacy here. It's like just a gajillion horrible memes
surging, surging from the undercurrent of the internet abyss.
Yes. All 5 of you out there listening to this, please make memes.
Yes. Oh gosh, that would be amazing. But yeah, well, that was issue 5, and I don't know about you guys, it was exhausting for us.
Yeah.
But very fruitful in the end.
Yeah, and we hope you enjoyed our actual fucking in real time breakdown. If you guys, if we get enough listeners, we might start a Patreon for this, and like you might be able to in future hear like not really editing streams, but like our analysis streams where we do the bulk of the work on these episodes. We'll record those like for a certain tier, so you can like get access to all of the future frustration that we have with like this media, because honestly a lot of it's really funny. A lot of it's just us laughing and trying to figure out what the heck, how to make stuff make sense.
The chaos.
Yeah.
The chaos of the brainstorming sessions is a sight to behold, but I don't know what the ear version or the hearing version of that expression is, so a sight to behold.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was issue 5.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of hoping that issue 6 is not nearly as awful as this one. I don't think it is, but
is issue 6
as long as there's no like pocket dimension that has some special rules in it.
I don't think there's any more dumb painting physics, and all we have to figure out now is like actual stuff that happens, which maybe means we can finally start talking about fucking Caleb, because we started this whole podcast trying to discuss the problem with him, and I think just now we're about to get to the bits where we're like discussing his issues.
Well, I have the summary file up, and well, let's just say that it's not really there yet, but I can say that pretty sure issue 7, that's when it gets spicy. But issue 6 is important because, well, it has some foundation stuff that we might have to like explain a little bit. It's not gonna be too much, but mostly because we recast some characters into different roles for our rewrite, so we just have to explain what happens and how this will be the bridge to the spice.
Yes, okay, this is bridge to Terabithia, I guess. Issue 7 is our Terabithia.
Well, issue 6 is the bridge.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, join us in 2 weeks for when we get to that.
Yeah, no worries.
We'll just have them all up on our like little drive. We don't live close together, and we're in the middle of the quarantine right now, so like everything's been done online, obviously. Yeah, it'll all just go onto the drive. I'll make a new like thing for that next week or something. Okay, well.
Oh yes.
We will see
you guys.
We'll see y'all in 2 weeks with more analysis goodness. But, you know, for now, just stay safe. Don't leave the house without a mask. Get vaccinated. Please get vaccinated. And, you know,
make good choices.
Make good choices. Also, happy Pride for all you, like, gay listeners out there.
Happy Pride!
Everyone under the non-cis het spectrum, unless they are TERFs, welcome here. We love you, we see you, we stand with you in the fight for equity. Half of this podcast crew is gay, so like, you know, we're here for y'all. We love and accept all of you, and everybody, really, that isn't a horrible bigot, so, you know. We hope that this podcast
Yes.
will become a safe space for y'all because, magical girl
Mhm.
media, it's one of those kinds of medias that cradled us millennial gays who, like, when we
Mhm.
were figuring ourselves out as kids, like, that's definitely something that we kind of want to be paying forward as a concept because we want everybody
Mhm.
here to feel welcome and good about
Yeah.
themselves. So we do our very best here to make you guys feel welcome.
I hope you guys find comfort somehow in
Yeah.
our streams.
I hope you all
And
find comfort in us getting frustrated in about media that nobody has thought of in many years. If you ever want to
I
hit
hope-
us up on Twitter. We're around. You can talk to us. Well, you can talk to me. I'm the
Yeah.
one that handles the Twitter account. But you
Yes.
can reach out or have fun in the comments. Find your people, I guess, if that's what you want to do. Like
Yeah.
we just want to be facilitating that kind of safe space energy.
Mhm. Yes. So we close the issues of issue 5.
Yeah, we finally leave issue 5 in the dust. Thank fucking God, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yep. See you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.